Begin Within Ministries proudly presents Sofa Sundays with your hosts, Reverend Dr. Michelle Izuku and Reverend Jeannie Sovereigns. Sundays at 11:11 a.m. Arizona time and rebroadcasts on Mondays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Come join us on the sofa every Sunday morning. Sofa Sundays with Michelle and Jeannie. Learn more at www.beginwithinministries.com. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.
Good morning.
Look who's here.
Who's back? Shady's back. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. I did tell you to tell a friend.
You're both here together.
No.
In 3 weeks you've been together.
Yes, it has.
So
It
not
is.
doing that again. I'm not gonna sick
Well,
anymore.
it happens.
No more sickness.
That is why there's two of us. So in case,
It helps.
yes, it does create a little bit better of a situation. Yeah, that it'd be somebody sitting on the sofa that you know.
For sure. Well, anyway, we've had some great guests, so
Yes, you
right
have.
now, so we can have some nice
Yeah,
people be on the sofa with us.
I agree.
I appreciate our guests.
I appreciate having guests as well. And actually, so now I'm getting contacted by people that have people and they're like, hey, I want to have a call with you to like work out. And I'm like, sure, this is great. I love that people want to speaker on. So,
We can have guests with us too.
right, exactly. That's
Love it.
always so. I asked you for the feedback. Where are we? Where are we?
We're at the home of Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington's amazing work classes or practice. We're at the Alicia Life Studios.
Yes, and that is located at 7220 North 16th Street between Glendale and Northern and Phoenix, Arizona 85020. So if you're in the neighborhood, come and see us. We're in building A1. Right now, a lot of landscaping is happening, but you'll still find us. Girls are on the door.
Stay off that.
Right.
Because our amazing sound tech, master of all stage things for us, is here in the house this morning. We have Lyric Davis in the house getting our coffees. Well, you got your own coffee.
I did get my own
You
coffee.
got a wild kind of coffee.
I did. I got this coffee with protein and I don't recommend
Oh,
it. Yeah, it's
it
okay.
was worth a shot.
It was worth a shot. I thought, like, add protein to your life, right? Because I need extra protein. That is a way to destroy a cup of caffeine. Yeah, not so much. Yeah, but yes, it's a thing.
So there is something that doesn't taste good in this.
Right, there is something that
Yeah, we finally found it.
it
Does not taste better.
I'm still a coffeeholic, so I'm going to drink it.
You are?
No coffee is bad coffee.
But anyway, we do appreciate you lurking in the house this morning. Thank you for helping getting all things set up for us. We love that. We love you. And yeah, what else I was going to say to you? Something. Probably.
I don't know.
It's probably seriously important. Anyway, I'll recall that show.
Okay, so shall we open?
I think so.
Okay, am I opening? You're opening.
You do it.
Alrighty.
Here we go.
So if you would, join me in that infinite field of possibility. Knowing and affirming that we are one with the all, the ever-present, the divine, universal
What if I did?
love.
What if I said?
And
What
as
if I looked
we are
around
one
at
with
everything
so
to love?
is everyone within the sound of my voice tonight.
What if I
So I speak my word for this time together,
What if my
knowing that
hand
it is
reached out
truly
to
blessed, it is
everything with
truly
love?
graced
What if
with the
I
divine
be
in
the
us
light
and
that
through each of
shines
us.
in all of
the words spoken here today are what needs to be said and heard and communicated. And that as we match this vibration of divine love, we carry it out to our friends, our family, in our city, our state, our country, our world. We know that as we are that we receive as much as we can. And for this we are so grateful. And I say thank you, God, thank you, life, thank you, universe. Call it good and I let it go. Together we sing. So it is. So it is. Right. Alright, does everybody want to see my new tattoo? Yes. Oh, good. Only on this one.
Alright, so can we sing? I have a 5-circuit medieval labyrinth. Alright, let me go to the get-go. Like making it up. Alright. There we go. So, and I have it this way so I can do a finger labyrinth. Yeah, so.
Her significance, oh my gosh, she's a certified labyrinth instructor.
No, I am not certified yet. It'll take about a year to be for certification. I am a Veritas trained labyrinth.
Okay. So she loves labyrinths for
life. Yes, and it took a little bit to, where's my other arm? You know, just because there's eyes on here doesn't mean I see where I'm going. Yeah, so it was like a week-long facilitation. The classes were 3.5 hours, and I did it the whole week with Lauren Artris, who was the person who actually brought the labyrinth back to modern day in the late 90s. And prior to that, it got lost in, you know, the world as a form of spiritual practice, as a form of meditation, as a form of art. It has been part of indigenous culture since the beginning of time. And like the first labyrinth is so old it's unknown type of thing. So this labyrinth that I have, the Shark's Labyrinth, that is in France. That is the one that Lauren went to. And it's in Shark's Cathedral. And they have chairs all over it. So she just moved the chairs off and walked the labyrinth. Had this experience, and her book is called Sacred Path, and you know, it was one of the classes I took to get my ministerial degree, and which really opened me up to the labyrinth. But my first experience with the labyrinth was back in the late 90s at an AA retreat in Hawaii, and they had a canvas labyrinth on the floor. And I remember this when I was in class. They asked, you know, did you find this labyrinth, or did the labyrinth find you? Which are basically the same thing. And for me, it was, you know. And I remember my friend Joyce and I being at this conference and us going in and walking the labyrinth then. And then since that time period, the labyrinth has come back into my life. And more recently, our first experience at the Anson Conference at Unity Village in Summit, Missouri, which is the largest cave labyrinth in North America at 90 minutes from conference. So it's like quarter mile in, quarter mile out. And that was my first real experience of the labyrinth. And at that time, I wasn't even all the way replaced. So I had a very hard time walking the labyrinth, but I did it every time we've been there.
Yes, it's beautiful there. And my first experience in the labyrinth was at the Franciscan Renewal Center. Which is local here in Phoenix.
To do that for our practitioner retreat.
Yeah, so they have that. If we're interested, it's always available. It's open. And
we will be having
that.
Right, yes.
Right, and you're hosting that on December 31st. So it's a great way to get ready for the new year.
For releasing
do that. So say that
2025.
date that she's going to be facilitating that, and it's our first time having you facilitate that for Begin with the Ministries, and I think it's going to be such a sacred, amazing opportunity for all of us to experience it. So I'm glad that you're doing that. And I want everyone to get that on your calendars now because it's just around the corner. This is what I was saying earlier.
Yeah, it is
Notice,
just around the corner.
this is all that's left of the year. We've done all this work, and we're down to these last few weeks, and that's crazy to me. Next year, this is going to be
Yes.
through Amazon.
We've got
So
ourselves
it's almost ready to run to print. Yeah, it's interesting to see these are stuff of the year. So let's make it count. Make those weeks count. Yeah, that's a great way to make them count. Look at your car today. Thankfulness brings me to the next moment of grace. That's a great way to make the rest of this year count. To find things that are good, things that you're thankful for in your life, happening right now. No matter what the circumstances are, what the experiences, there's always something that you can be grateful for. And when you do that, it does bring you to the next level.
Yes, and that's one of the things that is reminded me of by Spirit Edwards. You know, if there's only one prayer you ever say thank you, exactly. You know, and to think about the fact that everything that happens in our life, whether good, bad, or indifferent, you know, up until this point we survived it. Yeah. I mean, we might not last it, right? But we survived it. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm grateful that I'm here, right here, right now. You know, I can be thankful for that. I'm not always impressed with everything I'm thankful for. You know, there are some things I would have liked to give it up. You know, and I'm not saying that to be like, you know, people say, oh, well, everything you've been through made you who you are today. Yeah, well, there are time periods I'd like to have been somebody else. So, you know, I would have been grateful for that too. But now in this day where I am and knowing I'm always at choice, being in a state of thanksgiving, in a state of I'm grateful for this moment, I'm grateful for this time, I'm grateful for this experience. You know, that makes me a match for that grace. You know, to attract what it is that I desire to be and have and operate as in this world. So when I am not grateful or thankful, I tend to attract other things. And those have not been fun. So, you know, I'm not saying that I'm always thankful and grateful. I would love to tell you that, but I'm going to be authentically me. And sometimes I forget. Sometimes I whine, bitch, and complain. And forget that everything I have on that choice to change if I don't like it. You know, so there's my 2 cents this
Which
morning.
is the best part of it, but it's also can be overwhelming, can be frustrating to think if I can change, I have to also take responsibility that I created, that I'm why this experience is I'm receiving it or I'm moving through it in this way. And then to have the power from there to say, okay, then I will think differently and change it. Sometimes that's kind of hard to do, but I think the bottom line for that is the attraction that you're saying. The law of attraction, you know, they talk about that. First time I heard it, I was like, wait, what? I am responsible for what? For all this? You know, maybe not what someone else did to me, but I'm responsible for how I received that and how I moved with it and through it. And that's huge to undertake at first. And again, over time, even though you know it, doesn't mean you always respond from it, from that knowing. But the truth is that we are just a big magnet, and we're constantly magnetizing ourselves to whatever it is that we are thinking about and how we're feeling. We're doing that all the time. Whether we walk around knowing it or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change it.
Right. The law doesn't care if people need it.
It doesn't care. No. And it doesn't care what you're thinking.
No.
It's just an automatic yes. It's just automatic. Goes you back what you just now. So the real trick on that is just to be really intentional. Be really aware of yourself, aware of your thoughts. Journaling is a great tool to use. Having things like our cards sitting in your bathroom. So every time you walk in, you go, oh yeah, that's right.
Or on your desk.
Oh yeah. Somewhere where you
in my
can look at it.
purse.
Like my husband said on the last sofa, he said, these are things you keep in your wallet. I said, well, later I told us, this is why we made them.
Right. So that
People
they,
would put them in there.
yeah.
In the wallet somewhere. So they wouldn't just go. How many times you guys been to a workshop and you learned something great or you read a book and then it's out of your mind because you have no reminders of it. We wanted these to be something that you took home and stuck somewhere. So you go, oh, that's right. That's what I'm working on. That's what I want to remember. I want to keep that one going. But yeah, the world is. We are moving fast. Stuff is happening all the time. We have millions of thoughts a day. Constant thoughts running around. And if we can just stop every so often and be mindful of what we are thinking and what we are being a magnet for, then our experiences change. The next moment of grace is there for us.
One of the things that has come to me this month has been about questioning what it is that I'm thinking. So I just started consciousness studies, and
She's getting her dad.
yes, and and part of this has been about question everything. And I have two sisters, and they're always asking questions. Always. Like, you cannot have a story with them without them asking you a question. And I'm just like, be quiet, let me finish. And I am not a questioner, right? If you start telling me a story, I will listen. Sometimes, if you said something so confusing I can't follow along, I will ask. I'm also that person that joined the show 3 episodes in and catch up because my partner has a tendency to start watching things without me.
Oh,
and then I
start.
when I just jump in and I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, you want me to go back? And I'm like, nah, I can catch up. So because I'm that kind of person, I'm not a big questioner of other people's stories. However, I question my story, I question my beliefs, and I question what it is that I am moving and operating with at that moment, trying not to go, on autopilot in my life, because it's very easy to do that. It's very easy. I drive the same way to work. I'm only 2 miles from work, right? So I drive the same way. We do all these things the same way. And, those of us as we get older, if we don't, we'll forget to take our medication or clean the litter box. So I have a set routine I do in the morning so that I make sure the things I need to do get done, right? Sometimes with that, I forget that I'm that choice. So, yes, obviously certain things need to happen. My medication, brush my teeth, clean all the box. Okay, yeah, those things need to happen. But do I always need to believe that this follows this? Like, I need to question some of these things. Because if nothing changes, guess what? Nothing changes. If I don't change an aspect, if I don't change a view, if I don't change a choice, then it's always going to be that way. And so that's what I've been doing this weeks that I haven't been here. I've been doing some questioning and choices. And some people have questioned those choices. I walked on glass last week.
I'm questioning a few things.
Yeah.
I know why.
Yeah.
Actually, I was proud of you.
I walked on glass last weekend, and she's been a guest on the sofa, Laura Rosenberg. and with Om 3 Yoga. And she does warrior goddess training, and this is one of the things. And it was a very small class, and it was awesome. And one of the reasons I wasn't too afraid is because one of the other walkers was an emergency room doctor. So because she was there, I felt good. She's also in some of my fire walking classes, so I'm good when she's there. I know nothing will happen. And it was a very interesting experience. And so, people ask me, what does it feel like? Believe it or not, it feels like wet rose petals. I know. And Laura was saying that in some places where this is like a holy practice, they actually call it walking on petals. So I thought that was interesting because that is what I felt as well. And so again, questioning your perception, questioning your perfection. Glass is supposed to cut you, what if it doesn't? Fire is supposed to burn you, what if it doesn't? Right? People like me only do this. What if it isn't?
And I know the first step.
What if people like you do everything? What if you can do it all?
Perfectly.
And so that took me to the following day when I did the mud run. 17 obstacles, 3 miles, and I did it all. And the year before, 2 years before, I had one obstacle. I walked way through it. So it was something good to know that I could push my new body to do things like you. I love that.
You believe you could do it.
Yes. Yes.
So then you did it.
And then I did it. Yes.
Oftentimes when we're talking about being the magnet, being what we think and what we say over ourselves is what we will experience. So if you say, well, I can't do that, and guess what? You can't do it. You're not going to do it. You're going to find every reason why you can't. Even if you embark on it, there's still those things are going to come up because that's what you're talking about. That's what you feel and think and believe about it. And then things will come up in your way that will prove you right.
Yes.
But what if you could do it? What if you said to yourself, I don't think I can do that, but what if I could do it? Then what would I do? If I could do it, what would I do? Now your moves are different because you're questioning that decision, right? So, yeah, it's really being curious in life, not just taking on other people's shoulds and beliefs and what you see on TV and what you grew up with and what your teachers and whoever told you and having all that dragging you along with yourself. At some point, you can make your own choices, right? And so I remember my dad being 78 years old and I was sitting with him and I remember asking him why what he was doing was lying to his wife about his drinking behavior or going out and having a cigarette. He actually she didn't even know that at that time when I was talking to him, he was lying to everybody about smoking. Because the cigarette smoking had caused 2 different bypass surgeries in the past. He had a triple bypass and a quadruple bypass, and he's still sneaking around smoking. And I remember we went out to lunch one time, and we're getting out of the car, my car, and my son was in the back seat, so I've got to get myself out of the car, and I'm getting my child out of the car seat, undoing him and coming out, and my dad's still not around to the back of the car to meet us. So I walk around, because he's doing this very quickly. I'm doing whatever. No, I'm just not stupid, right? So I go, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm just getting up. I said, were you smoking? And he goes, no. I said, Dad, come on. Were you smoking? I don't care.
Right.
Were you smoking? And he goes, yeah. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this man is 78 years old. At what time do you just go, hey, guess what? I want to smoke a cigarette. Guess what? I don't care what you all think is my life. I'll do what I want. If I have to have another bite that's on me, but I want to smoke a cigarette. You're still smoking the cigarette, but you're walking around lying. And I said to him, at what point do you just speak your truth? Just say what it is. Just be free. And it kind of scared me a little bit. I wasn't thinking to myself, because I was a lot at that time in my life, I had a little bit of fear about just authentically being me. And would you all like me? Would you all, think good of me if I just put all my stuff out there, or what I think, or what I do? And
And I
I
know
remember just looking at him
step begins with
across the when we went inside. I was still talking to him about it, and he couldn't even look at me. He was just,
perfectly whole.
like, Dad, you're 70 years old. I mean, you're the boss of your own life.
Yeah.
Just say it.
At 78,
Yeah.
at 28, you're the boss of your own life.
At some point, can't you just?
You're the boss.
And I said, and if they don't like it, then whoever they is, your wife, whoever, and they don't like it,
And then you're still at choice.
yeah, you're doing what you want.
You choose whether that matters to you or not. I mean, like,
How important is it
yeah,
to you?
how important is it to you? I'm not saying just do whatever you want so that you're authentic to go. No, there are some things that probably do need to be questioned in your life. And then, but you still have a choice. Am I going to look at that? Am I going to examine that? Am I going to stop or continue or whatever it may be? And then decide, yes, that's where I'm going with my life. I think a lot of times what happens is that, our focus can be so outwardly focused about others that we're operating like you're talking about with your dad. So obviously, he's hiding this because he knows how other people feel.
Oh, he thinks.
He thinks he's hiding. Yeah, I was a heavy smoker too for a long time. And I wasn't hiding it. As an ex-smoker, never hiding it. Just an FYI.
Oh yeah,
if
we
you're
always
trying.
can.
We can smell it.
Yeah.
Yes, but
We do that. Yeah, and what's interesting about that is once he told me, and then I knew, I said, Dad, you need to, you want to smoke a cigarette,
yeah.
I'm a grown man, I'm not the boss of you, I'm not, whatever, you do what you want to do. That's who's calling me. We doing lunch on Thursday then? Can we do lunch on Thursday then? I'm like, yeah, but you just want to smoke or you actually want to see me, right? But I didn't care because it was great. Yeah, it's like not everybody's going to act like you should have to act.
Right.
Again, you're just building all this, and if they do, they do. If they do whatever they do, but you still show the freedom he has in me. Because I knew when I spoke.
Right. And there is that level of freedom when you get to be you with somebody.
Yeah.
And I was just reading this article about social intelligence earlier today, and that being one of the things, like we all have that idea of how we're supposed to act in certain situations, right? You go out to dinner, you know that you're supposed to act a certain way. You're not gonna, wipe your face with the tablecloth at the table. You're gonna do things that you're supposed to do when you're in public, and the different social cues that we learn. And what a difference it is to be with your person or persons that you can just be you and not go, oh, did I just mess that up? Did I say the wrong thing? Did I act the wrong way? Did I make the wrong face? And what a relief that is to be like, so I can imagine for your dad, what a relief to be. He could, good, bad, or indifferent, he could be him with you and having that freedom there and that grace, right? We're talking here mostly about that next moment of grace, and I read this as the divine, atmosphere of being at choice and field of possibility. But then there's that grace that we get from our friends and our loved ones, and that ability to be ourselves. I have that when I Marco Polo. This is what's happening to me today.
They're so funny. I love it. Go ahead, tell me all your stories.
But I want to be authentic, and there are days that I am not happy, joyous, and free. There are days that I am like, wow, this is not feeling good. This is not a choice I want to have today. And you have to be able to work through those too.
And I feel like when we can be authentic with each other, and we, Ann and I talk about the shame game So when you live in the shame game, you're not really pushing, you're just hiding. And you're not going to look at anything and make it better. Even my dad, if he had been able to live longer, he didn't live much longer from that time. But he may have had to sell once he realized, I'm accepting you for who you are, what you're doing, and I'm good. I'm not sitting here judging you. You know, maybe then he might have questioned, looked at himself, looked at that differently. But until you are actually being authentic and you're just owning whatever it is in the presence of whoever, and they love you anyway, that's the only time you're ever going to, the shame gets lifted off, and now you're actually looking at it. But until then, you're burying it, you're hiding it, you're burying it, you're living, the shame is over it, and you're not really seeing what it actually maybe isn't good. Instead, you're just saying, well, they just judge me for that way. Well, yeah, what's really happening is they're probably concerned and worried and doing whatever, but it's coming across in a way that's just makes you feel shame. And if we can just love people through those moments of trying to find their authentic self with you and give them the grace to be who they are, that's when they have a chance to see themselves for who they really are, the truth of who they are, and that whatever vices or whatever things that they're doing, maybe it doesn't align, right? Maybe isn't what I want to do, or maybe he says, I do want to do, right? You know what I mean? But that's his journey and his life, and it was his to do, and I didn't feel like, I just wanted him to not lie. I didn't want him to lie, I don't like that, just be honest. If you're doing that, just be honest. It's your decision. Why, you know, and it just was such a moment for me to even see that in my own life. Where am I living like that? I'm worried about what everybody else is going to think so that I'm not being honest, you know? And it's such a peace to be who I am today and the tribe I have today. I feel like I could tell my tribe anything. And they would be like, okay. You know, even if it was something that maybe they didn't agree with, they might be, okay. You know, but I don't feel fear of I'm not going to have love, I'm not going to love me. I have my tribe now, and that it took my authenticity to find it, and the shame doesn't have the same effect on me anymore because when it's authentic. And so then you can look at yourself and the things you're going through, and you can find that faithfulness, you can find that gratitude, you can find that grace for yourself and other people as they hopefully can come to you. Because they can see you being authentic, now they can come to you and be their authentic selves. And all that just is this little circle that
right.
we have.
Right. Because when we're open up enough to be that, then that gives other people permission to be that themselves, you know, whether you're their person or not, it still opens up that level to say, hey, yeah, well, she didn't explode by, you know, claiming her sexuality or claiming, you know, she's a smoker or whatever, right? Like, if that doesn't happen to her, then maybe I can as well. And I think that, you know, that type of freedom actually does open up our ability to see a real possibility, right? Like, because then it's like, okay, we've all had that. Everybody in this room has had Michelle's teacher, Michelle Whittington. So I know this, you know, if money and time were not a concern, what would you think? What would you do? What would you have? Right? Because we always say, well, I can't because. Because this. I don't have this education. I'm a mother of 10, you know, I don't have time, whatever, right? Like we have those excuses, and being a mother of 10 is probably really good.
And that would be okay.
Excuse a mother of 10. You're good. You don't have time. You know, I get that. But, you know, there's a minute that you're not sleeping, go for it. I'm just saying, like, there's, you know, we will find very valid reasons why. Great. Now let's just say, what if that wasn't? You know, can you open yourself up to that confidence, that dream, that expansion? What does that look like? And once you do that, and this has been my experience. Once I've done that, then I can look at the next individual step. What's my next little step that I can do? It's not jumping up and eating the whole elephant at once. You know, you can't do it all at once. Even if you did have all the money and time, it still takes a process. So the little things, what's my next step that I can do here and like this, and then grateful for it. And then the grace does expand. There's where you do have more grace to expand into the next step or the next thing. And as we're seeing that through the, you know, every year, I don't care who you are, right? We're like, ooh, the new year. This is what's going to happen this year, right? You know, and then we set our goals or our, you know, heart map or whatever it is that we do, our vision boards. And, you know, we move through that. And some people get some of the things, some of them get none of the things. They, you know, didn't put it under the bed, whatever. That's what I love about the Best Year Yet. We're constantly working on it every month and given the permission to realize we're always at choice and making those things. I thought of in January are no longer what I wanted to buy, you know, for whatever reason, and work through that. And each year, and you can do it anytime really, it doesn't have to be January 1st, right? You do it on your birthday, you can do it on Monday, you can do it today, whatever. You know, we make those choices of this is where I'd like to see myself in 5, 10, 15 days, 15 years, whatever, and be at that choice. That's just the first part. You know, decision's just the first part. Now we've got to have the action. Now we got to have the and I think
And that's where God meets you.
right.
That's where that is. So with the house, you have to go.
Or else it's not going anywhere. It's just what
God
covers.
is through us, not for us. He's through us. So if you're sitting there, why is this happening from you? Because you're not. Either you haven't taken whatever the action is, you know what you're supposed to do, you're feeling it. I'm talking about this. You've been stalling out, you've lost your voice, you have all these excuses, whatever it is. God's already told you what you're supposed to be doing and you're not doing it, and then you're wondering why it's not happening. Because it can't happen without you. You have to participate. You are.
Remind me to send you a meme Savannah sent me. It's really just this woman talking to God, and God says, "Don't you want to be rich and famous?" Yes, I do. But when she brings it to me, and she's inside her house, right? She's like, he's like, God's like, no, you got to come outside. He's like, no, I'm not going out there. Don't you want to have this, that, and I'm not going out there. Did you bring it to me? No, you have to leave the house. And I was like cracking up. I was like, how many times? And it's like, yes, I want all that, but no, some of that other stuff's too scary right now. I don't want that part, you know. Right? And then it's like, well, you've got to do your part.
You have to do your part, and sometimes it's something bold, something to be courageous about. That just shows your faith. That just shows your trust and your faith. What are you leaning in? If you can fall to it, there's a way to get through it. I mean, there's no question if that's not true. And you can start with looking at things you can be thankful for, opportunities you're thankful for, people. Like, try to find that and give yourself some grace as you move through whatever it is that's calling you, that's pulling you, that you're uncomfortable with. Don't beat yourself up for not moving. Sometimes that's part. I mean, not sometimes that's part of the journey too, for not moving. Because sometimes later on, when you finally get there, you're like, wow, I made it. Look at I stepped forward and look at all this stuff happening. There's somebody else who's 2 steps behind you going, right? You're like, oh no, I was there. Yeah. I know. Come on, just take that one step. Take this little step. Be thankful for where you're. Because that's all. We're just leading each other. We're helping each other. That's how we know how to help the next person that's coming up right after us in the same path. So, but shame and not being authentic, it just buries us in that. And then we're looking at the wrong thing. So definitely know your tribe. Say know your tribe. Get a tribe. Know your tribe. Have to, whatever it is. start finding people you can be authentic to. Be very thankful for where you're at right now, what you have, what you've been through. There's always something to be thankful for, no matter what's going on, no matter how far away the goal seems to be. There's always something to be grateful for with what you're experiencing right now. Find that, focus on that. You'll get more of those things because you're going to be a magnet to that. And then the grace not yourself, just there. It's there. It's not something to go get or create it. It just needs to be revealed. You already are.
You already are. Exactly. It's just, yeah. You already have the grace is that divine energy, and it's already there. So the gratitude, the thankfulness is what kind of brings that out. Opens that up for you. It's you already like aligns you, matches you to it. I was just thinking about it. It's like when you want pickles on your hamburger, you gotta go to the refrigerator and get the pickles out, right? Like it's the pickles are already there, but you gotta get the jar out, open the jar, and put them on the hamburger. So this is kind of what gratitude. Right? I feel like I'm hungry. I can't have your spices. Apparently, I still want hamburgers, but that's even of my family. Texting during sofa Sunday.
You can't text during sofa Sunday.
Always, yeah. My family is always during sofa Sundays. I'm like, heathens, I'm in church. Where are you? Anyway, but
you should be in church.
That's right. Having something, where it's at. So now to get it and have it as part of your experience is up to you. Now I can stand there and complain that I don't have pickles on my burger, but I could. And you would be right. You don't. You go to the refrigerator, get them in, and put them on. The only person at choice in this is you. And that's why I kind of wanted to make it a very easy metaphor. The only person at choice in this is you, right? That's where I'm going. That's what I'm getting. So if you're seeing something and you're like, I want that in my life, then there you go. So what do we got to do to make that happen? What's your next step? What is it that you have to do? And this doesn't have to be hard. This can be like just tuning into yourself, finding out, well, I could research it and find out. I could ask another individual for help. Right, Lynn? Yeah.
Lynn on the sofa. No one is safe.
No one is safe.
On the sofa.
Who could I ask for this?
I don't know when she's waking up. She's like, oh,
Who could I ask for help? Who could I, in Dr. Jane's class, one of the things is like last year I wanted to be in his class, and he sent out an email, and I responded, but then I never followed up, and then I got, and I was all like, yeah, I bought my feelers.
She was in her feels.
My feelers were hurt. And so this time, when I heard he was having the class, I basically stalked him. And then the last day of the conference, I was like, send me that email, I'll be there. And I was like, it was not going to matter what day, what time, what amount. I knew this was mine to do, and I made it happen. So when I start complaining about this, just remember I chose it.
But yeah, you did. You decided you weren't going to let another year go by.
No.
How many of us let year after year go by and not do the thing we were supposed to be doing? Guys, this is it. I'm just telling you, let's all together. Come on. I'm tired of it for me.
Tired of it for me.
Tired of it for you. Yeah. For whatever it is. That's it. We've had enough of that. I'm tired of saying this was the year, but no, it is. I expect it to be done. I'm not taking a no for an answer. Put it in the chat if you want accountability for it, but for real. You're doing this. Whatever it is on your heart, you know what it is. As soon as I say that, everybody goes, yeah. Oh, I got a little twinge right
here.
Do this thing. I am not smoking in the
We're trying to push it in the back of our mind.
We all have a thing, and this is it. Step boldly, be courageous, kind of throw caution to the wind, let God handle the how, and just move forward. And every time you move forward, you know from the past experience, the weird, excuse my language, but the weird shit that comes up that God arranges to help you. And you're like, there is no way that just happened. Did you just see what happened? Did you see that? What in the world? This is for real. And seriously, it doesn't happen until you move. You have to go. And I think I've just had this epiphany in the last several months or couple months, like, oh my God, God is in, as, and through you. Not for you, not in place of you, not going to give to Jeannie to give to you. No, it's us.
Right?
We are God in human expression. It has to be through us.
That field of possibility is always there. Everything is happening in this moment. And the minute your attention is on it, it collapses everything to it. And now it's so just know that it's there. It's there. And one more thing, you can change your mind.
That's the best.
You're allowed to change your mind too. You don't have to. I was sharing my story the other day, and I was like, sometimes I get so connected to this decision I make. Look at you. All it up. All it up. So I get so connected to a decision I make that I forget that it was your decision. It was my decision. And if I don't like that decision, you can choose one. Change it. That's the best part. You are the navigator. You're the compass, the navigator. You're the driver. You're all the things. The captain, the CEO. You're everything. You are everything. You are out. It's all happening. So again, I love this. I don't know how we got here. I don't either.
From thankfulness brings me to my next moment of grace. But I will tell you never don't.
You don't. I was talking to Reverend Jen this morning, Marco Polo, and I was talking about this speakers.
You talked to her this morning.
I talked to her on my phone, and she was talking about this speakers group. It's not necessarily New Club, but it's called Activate. Where you do 5-10 minutes, and there you have a topic, but you never know where it's going to go. You're nuts. And I said, that is so the sofa. Here's a topic. We don't know where it's going to go.
We just trust Spirit.
We trust Spirit is going to move it.
And whatever the call Ann says, we just do it for her anyway.
That's right.
So it's just for Ann every Sunday.
Right. There you go.
But it is. It's I love how it just comes through. So obviously someone, and usually it's ourselves that need to hear these messages, and then comes through us for everyone else is usually how, at least for me.
Right. We talked about that too, right? That your gift is for you. Right. And if other people are blessed, yay. But get your gift out for you.
Yeah.
Because when we are doing what it is we feel called to do, then there's no doubt that it wouldn't be there if it wasn't. But that they should not be our goal.
No, or what they think.
Or what they think.
So don't let that stop you. What they think it's not for everyone, but the ones that it's for will align, and you will bless them with your gift. But at first it's for you. And it needs to come through you. It's so important. I can't express that enough. I can yell it to myself now. Shout it out. From Unleash Your Life Studios.
Yes.
Here at 7220
There you go.
North 16th Street.
Look, you got the address down.
Yes, I know. I found that out. When you're not here, I have to remember this stuff all by myself. A lot of work around
It
here.
really is. Yeah. When you have to remember
I'm always
it all.
like, did I say everything?
That's what I do too. That's what I ask. I go, did I say everything? It's like there
What's
should be more.
No, I think I said everything that I had written down. If they got anything that they were feeling called to add this morning,
Lynn, do you have anything? My head's ruminating with things. Larry, it's like,
hold on, girl. It's my
oh my God, it's my first. I got to be mine. I know that everyone else is
Yeah, so it's forming the authenticity, and then the other side of it, when you actually are your true self, and like, because I've been are identifiably, I've also, learned a little bit more about me. For those that do know what that is, that's blowing up my world. I'm changing. What I'm realizing is that the people around me, I'm being more my authentic self. My people aren't changing. Because I'm seeing that they resonated with a different version of me, and I'm even getting words from closer to them. I'm disappointed. And the judgment, and somebody actually made a comment and said, well, you were this 7 years ago. You're judging on something that was 7 years ago. So it's learning to be, I'm listening to this, it's resonating, to be grateful for getting this feedback. Because it's like, you're being authentic, I'm feeling more like amazing myself. However, the world outside is not agreeing in that same pattern with what I'm seeing as certain friends I've allowed in my life. And I'm just in this growth of gratitude of the contrast, but to be that true self is so important, and at the end of the day, so comforting that, and then, you know, I really learned that in judgment of others where they're at and what they're going through in the past. And as I am the one that doesn't have to not judge others. So in some of that with some of these you know, life friendships now, because friends are very cherishing to me. But these level of friendships, it's, I might not know what's really going on in their life, and I'm to project these things on myself. That what are they going through? It's okay for me to walk them through. To I don't know. But whereas my friendship was staying there and creating something that you could go to the conversation, and instead of just hung up on. So I'm like, we actually just putting our lives in our 50s, can't even have my brother was in high school.
Yeah.
You know, like just have a let's have a conversation. It might not be comfortable, I might not like it, but like I'd like to have those people in my life that I can be true and authentic. And at the end of the day, go, okay, then yeah, you're a little cray at the moment, but you know, I still love you. You're still my friend, and that's okay. So, and a friend literally told me that yesterday. She's like, yeah, you're a little, you know, off, but great, awesome. I don't want to be like anybody else at this point. I truly just want to find me outside of the mask. So, and it all comes through gratitude. I'm not mad. I'm grateful for the expression of that certain my true of those that'll dare supporting, loving, and caring along the way. So it's all lesson finding gratitude and support in the innovated or oh gosh, my test is gonna fail. But just how we look at something and it's more. Not find the reframing, thank you, where it's not that simple to gratitude for that experience where it came from. So yeah, the great message from my speech was such a joy and fill my heart. So I'm always grateful to pop into this.
Thank you.
She's talking about the positive intelligence course with Dr. Michelle. And you know what? I just think you've set your compass for a different north, right? And so you're not aligning right now with what you're not heading in that same direction now. So some things aren't aligning. Certain people may not align and may not move. It may be causing them a lot of discomfort because it's causing reflection inside them too. So that's all the people can do. When we are authentic, we affect everything around us. When we come from our true selves, and when we don't, we do the same thing. But I believe when we come from our true selves and we hold that space, that's the only chance other people have of coming back to us with their true selves. Or I'm not getting the words, but I feel it, but I don't know how to say it. But I feel like that's that place for them too, that they may grow also because you are moving. You know, you are heading in this, and if they go, okay, you're a little cray-cray. Well, that's a judgment, but that's coming from within. So what is that for you? You know. So sometimes people they have those same feelings and desires of themselves, but they're afraid to do it, and so they have to project that, and that's how you're still gonna move. And that's the only shot they might have of leveling up themselves is watching you do it and going, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna be left here. I want to stay on whatever she's having, you know. So just keep the course. I think that's proof is in the pudding, right? Proof is in the pudding. You start to see that stuff happening. You know you're going leveling up, or that wouldn't be happening.
Absolutely, totally agree.
Help me with my word, because I
just
have this feeling, but it's like sometimes it's hard to articulate.
Right.
The feeling.
Yeah, and you know it can be hard, especially when you're dealing with other people's judgments. You know, as you start express more of your true self, and somebody says, whoa, you know, and then especially I'm a people pleaser type of, you know, that's one of my saboteurs. I work on that not being, and I'm also the victim is also another one of mine. So, you know, when those things come up, I think to myself, oh, should I? And the minute that word should comes out,
Here we already know.
we already know, right? It's like, I can't change that. Now, always at choice and always questioning, okay, what is it there? Was that truly what I meant to say, be, operate as? And if it was, then bless them. May you find your good elsewhere. It's like, because, or was I for real? No, I wasn't for real? Okay, then maybe I owe an amends in that conversation there. Hey, you're right. What was happening for me was low blood sugar. And, I was crazy. And thanks for pointing it out. And that's something to eat now. And maybe we can have that conversation. Whatever it is, as long as that you're honest with you, I think operating in the world is so much easier. Whether it's comfortable or not, it's another story. It's not always comfortable. It's not supposed to be. Right? How else are we going to grow? Do you think it's comfortable for a seed to pop out? Yeah, there's not comfort in that. It's dirty. Yeah, and then, somebody might be standing there where it's time to come up. There are things happening. A pretty rock. You never know. So, yeah, it doesn't always get to be comfortable. And we still do the next step.
And it feels great when we get on the other side of it.
Absolutely.
Because then we go, oh, is that what it was? Yeah, is that what I was doing?
There you go.
Okay. All right, yeah. I know. And I love how you're being thankful for it, because that does give you grace in the next moment for sure. So thank you for helping us to bring it back to our heart.
Bring it on,
But
buddy.
it is. Be thankful for whatever that is. And give yourself lots of grace in those moments. Find that moment of grace. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others, because especially if you are moving in your authentic path and you haven't done that. Some people, they are going to be up-leveled, there's going to be uproar, whatever they do, and just give them grace, just like you give yourself as you make those moves that you can. We have to move.
We have to move. And with that, we have to move on.
We must move on now. It is time.
It is time.
Nothing else? Okay.
All right.
She's like, this is for me.
All right. You going to take us out? Do it.
Take a deep breath. Just release that. As we recognize there's only one. There's only one power, one love, one thing going on. Is life. Is that divine movement, that energy, and it has its movement through us. It moves in and through us. We are that light, that love, that energy. We are it expressing. Each one of us, individually, uniquely, our own journey, separately yet together. And from that knowing, I see my word for our time together, knowing that what we've shared, what has come up, it's divinely guided. The ideas, concepts that actually we have, the truths, the authenticity, stories, all of it is divinely guided. And we each are blessed by it. We each see the grace in it, the next move in it. what is ours to do. And we allow ourselves to take it in.
And what if I'm the only guide some will see?
And as we do
Then I
so,
must recognize within the spirit
we
and it's
create
only love.
the experience.
And I must be what I've come here to
We
be.
allow
And I
realignment
know the
with what
first
is
step
already there,
begins within.
what we already are.
What if I
And
felt
I'm grateful for this. I'm thankful
perfectly whole?
for this
What if
time,
my heart open to everything with love?
knowing
What
that it's
if I
full and complete and
only
already
that
done
you?
in the mind of God.
What if my mind
And so we let it go,
everything with love? What if I'm a beacon
and together we
of
said,
that light
"Let's
that
go."
shines in all of us?
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so good to be back with you guys and
again.
together again.
Then I must
Oh, well, thanks for
Such a
asking.
great question.
It really is. I could use a few new bras. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, so.
Never know. I never know.
You just never know what's going to come out. So, you can support us by liking and sharing right here, right now. If you got anything out of this, push that little like and subscribe button on our YouTube channel and join us in our Facebook group called Sofa Sundays
Also on Instagram.
and on Instagram and on our website, beginwithinministries.com.
Yes, check us out there. And if this spoke to you, if you found yourself in this, if this was like, oh my gosh, you're talking to me
Talking to
this
me.
morning. Listen, we are here every Sunday broadcasting live for you and for ourselves. And we would love for you to become a part of our community, become a spiritual church club partner with us. And it's really simple to do that. It's just supporting us financially through our website at beginwithinministries.com. It's a one-time commitment of $45 a month, a monthly commitment of $45 a month. Yeah, a monthly commitment. So that helps us do more of what we're doing here, helps us create our courses and our classes and all of our partners that benefit from that. So if you would like to do that with us, if you're feeling like this is supporting you spiritually, we invite you to do that. Of course, you can type to us as well. And definitely the liking, the sharing, the inviting visitors to check us out, coming in to see us live or being with us online. We love all of that support, and that does help us too. It helps the algorithm know that we're here, and they share us too when you do that. So whatever you can do, we are grateful for that.
Yes. And we're live on Sundays at 11:11 Arizona time, which is now Mountain Time. It was Pacific time. We don't change time. We just change time zones. And we are replayed at 7 p.m. on Monday nights on the New Thought Media Network. So you can find us there as well. And speaking of New Thought Media Network, happy birthday, Laura Brzezinski.
Happy birthday
What if I did?
So that's all we got today. So join us next
What
time.
if I looked around
Thanks for
at
being here.
everything with love? What if I
Thanks for watching.
What if I gave?
Tune in again next week at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Time or Monday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Time.
What if I'm a beacon of that light that shines in all of us? And what if I'm the only guide
In partnership with New Thought Media Network.